Jess.
And Shell.
Welcome to Real Talk Tuesdays with Jess and Shell, where we talk voiceover.
And some other things.
Thanks for watching.
Today we have the amazing Jennifer Antkowiak. I hope I'm saying that right. I always butcher her name, but I think that's right. She is amazing. We met acting actually, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe more, on an acting shoot for a commercial shoot. But she's also a voiceover, but she's also kind of become like a kind of a guru on accountability. So today we're talking about accountability. So let's just let her in. Yay!
Welcome.
What?
And then the real face appears.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think you're so beautiful. Yes. Yes. I know.
I realized I have a stain on my shirt, and so I'm just going to stay down here.
Just stay below yeah. That's what's great about this. It's like, I'm just going to tip my computer up a little bit.
When don't I have a stain on something?
Does anyone else have a t-shirt that they leave in their booth in the summer when you're just basically naked and have to hop on a call? Right. Yeah.
I have layers because of the whole like overheating thing I'm having. In fact, I have like too much layers on right now. I'm like, I should probably take it off. Yeah. I'm like very warm already. Jess was asking like where I met you. And I was like, actually, we met on an acting shoot.
Yes.
Right. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Many, many, many years ago.
I was talking about your book. So I think you had just published your book.
Okay. So then that would have been 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Jennifer is, as I tried to give you a little intro, and I always worry that I'm saying your name wrong, but I think I did it. Antkowiak?
Antkowiak, yeah. Very close.
Pretty close. Okay. Yeah. She's an actor, voice talent, and she's also an amazing singer. Just performed this Saturday at Club Cafe in Boston as what do you call that? It's a word for that.
I call myself a female crooner.
Crooner.
Oh, nice.
Yes, she's really
like a little jazz club type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
The gown, the gloves, the whole deal.
She does it all up and she looks amazing. Yeah.
Fun. Can you tell me really quick, what's your background? Like, how did you get started in all of this?
I went to school for communications. So when I was a senior in college, I did the voiceover for a group project, a marketing project. And I loved voiceover. The engineer loved what I did and said I should record a demo. So I did. And back then there was no internet. And then I got married and had babies, and that tape got stuffed in a drawer for 20 years.
Yep.
But I've always sung and performed and acted on stage, and started doing on-camera work when my kids were getting older and there just wasn't time to do a lot of theater work. And as I did more and more on-camera work, they were requesting some voiceover for that as well. So I started doing more of that. And then I met Marty Moran from Connecticut, a great actor and voice actor. We were extras on a Friendly shoot one day for 8 hours, and we just talked voiceover for the entire 8 hours.
Wow.
He answered all my questions, and then he helped guide me into the industry. And I will forever be grateful to Marty for getting me here.
Well, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Just like that little tape from many, many years ago was like a little, like a seed, right? Like a little, like.
I actually called him a couple of years ago because I found the tape and it had his phone number on it. And I called and I said, I don't remember how it was we met, or, what company you were, and until I found this tape again. But I remember it was for a senior project. I don't remember what the project was. Wow. He goes, oh my gosh, that was a lot of years ago. And I said, thanks a lot. It wasn't that long ago, but but he had just retired. So he had a great production house for 40 years and just retired and closed it down. But
yeah,
it was fun to reach out and reconnect with the very first demo producer.
Wow. Could you even have anything to play the tape on to hear what it sounded like, or no?
No.
Yeah, I'd be like so curious to know what it sounded like.
I'm curious and afraid at the same time.
Very true.
I really want to open this box.
But maybe not. So how do you think, I know for me, accountability is important, but like how do you think you fell into this kind of like, you spoke on it actually on a panel you spoke on it at VO Atlanta, and you've been on Mark Scott's podcast about it. So like, How do you think that kind of happened? You just kind of be something you loved, and then it kind of like people were like, "Oh, tell me more about that." Like, yeah, how did that happen?
Oh, it was a happy accident, actually. So I was working for a production company and got laid off. So I decided in 2019, I'm diving into full-time voiceover. And at the time, I had already booked a spot for the Vocation Conference in New
Oh, wow.
York. And throughout that entire conference, all these people that I admired and who were doing so well, Karin Gilfrey and Maria Pendolino, and I just admired them, and they kept talking about their accountability partners. I'm like, I think that's the part I'm missing.
Mm.
So I had connected, as you do, with just random people I met at the conference, and I said, "You guys want to form an accountability group?" And one of the people was Lauren McCullough. I've met her years ago at another conference. She's wonderful. And she had been in an accountability group before and gave us some ideas of how we can run the group. And then we took that and ran with it. And we've been meeting every other week ever since. And then I formed another group and of another group. And they all do different things, but they're all super beneficial.
It's a hard, like, I have accountability partner, like one person. And I worked for like 2 years with an accountability group of 4 that ended up becoming 5. But I do find that, and those only worked because, you both really were like, it's that committed to it. But then I had another accountability group with a few men, and that kind of fizzled out. And it's like that thing, right? I think it's really, you really need someone kind of like not in charge of it. You need to be like very flexible, like everybody, like figure out a way, even if it's for a short thing, to make it I guess consistency, right?
Yeah.
Would you
And
say that?
I do, and that's one of the good things about having a group is if you have 4 people in your group, typically at least 1 or 2 are going to be able to make it every time. So you're not relying on just one person to have their schedule open. The other thing, what you said about having a leader, and I'm a control freak, I know this. I found there was more engagement if everybody took turns leading,
Oh,
because then you didn't feel like you could sit back and coast. It's your week to lead. You have to come up with what we're going to talk about, or an activity we're going to do, or homework that we're going to have. It really makes you more engaged if every member of the group has to lead it. I left my door open because it's a little steamy. So
yeah. Steamy.
What are you reading in there?
Right.
It's very lucrative.
I just lost my train of thought
Oh,
about.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, do you have like a certain, we do this certain schedule, like we're gonna talk about this, and then 5 minutes we spend on this, and then 15 minutes we do this, like a
So
form.
each group is different, I would say. So I work with Rosie Amador, who's also lovely Boston voice actor, and we'll do what we call live accountability, where we'll meet on Zoom and just chat for 5 minutes and talk about what we're up to, what we're going to do, and then we put each other on mute, and we have an hour of uninterrupted accountability time where we have to get those tasks done.
Oh, wow.
And you have someone watching you, so you're going to work. You're not just going to sit there on your phone. So that's a really wonderful accountability group. I have another one where we answer 3 questions, which is, what have you done the last 2 weeks? What are you working on now? And what are you going to do in the next 2 weeks before we meet again? And then if there's time, we'll say, what's standing in your way? And then during those recaps, after that person is done, we'll talk about what's standing in their way or what they're working on and how they can improve on what they're trying to do. Like I had one friend who was trying to do some direct marketing, and Googling was overwhelming, right? So filling out your spreadsheet. So someone mentioned, if you have Source Connect, you can go on the map of Source Connect and find production studios on Source Connect, the
Yeah.
Source Elements website. So just having or focus it down to just New York or just Massachusetts, just giving ideas to help people along in their journey. And then the other group is that's the one where each of us is a leader. Everyone, we do those check-ins, but then the leader has to bring a teachable moment. And that might be technical, something they've learned. The caveat is we can't give away industry trade secrets from coaches or anything like that, that charge a fee for that information.
Right.
But something that's worked for you, like punch and roll has become a lifesaver for me. And just little things like that marketing tips or just encouragement for each other. So we'll do an exercise and a teaching moment at the end of those. So there is a set schedule for each one, but you can find something that works for you. But I also find that those first 3 questions gets the ball rolling for everybody.
Yeah, and it's something for them to kind of prepare ahead of time to think that they're going to talk
Right.
about. We had one where I feel like I got this from somebody, so apologies to whoever I stole this from, but it was happy, crappy, focus, fun. I feel like it was from Rebecca.
Wow.
Anyway, so it's like something that this past week that was happy, something that was crappy, your client that was, something. Focus, what's your focus, and fun, just something that had nothing to do with anything. It's just something that was fun for you.
Oh, I
And
love that.
yeah, and it prepared you to like kind of have those things. Okay, I'd write those 4 things down and be ready to come to the table with them. I know what I think, but I'd love why you think it's so important to do this.
For me, it was just going full time on my own and working at home. It was hard to set a schedule.
Mm,
It's so easy to just say, it's nice out today. I'm going to go for a hike. I'm a business owner. I own my own business. I can run my own hours, have my own hours. You get into that habit of just, I'll get to it. Having that accountability group, I think, keeps you very focused. And I
mm,
know there are people out there who say, my kids are my accountability. I have to do it because of my kids. And some people are super focused and can do it without this group. But what I also found is it doesn't just keep you focused. During those times where the imposter syndrome comes up, or we're just thinking, bookings are so slow, it's almost like your group therapy as well. So
agree.
it's just wonderful to have those people that become family.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And you share all each other's lives and you kind
Yeah,
of, like even the things that have nothing to do with voiceover, like the personal stuff, and that we all have those, right? So it's so
exactly.
important.
So did you guys take breaks for certain periods of time, or is it kind of like, well, it's 4th of July and take days off and then get together next week?
One of the groups we don't have a formal meeting for the summer, but we will do audition competitions, or we'll do direct marketing competitions, or those live accountability sessions when people can, maybe once a month. So we do take a break. The only seasonal schedule that I'll say we have is we always do um, a fourth quarter check-in, just to see how the year's been going, what we can do for the final fourth quarter to push to the end of the year. And then we'll also do a goal setting for the next year. And that can be, you know, usually it's that week between Christmas and New Year's
I
where
love that.
everything is slow. And, we write down every single goal we can think of that we want to do for the next year. And then we pick 3 to really focus on.
Nice. That's such a cool time of year too, because you're less like, you're kind of slower. It's the holidays and you're feeling like, okay, I want to feel like newness for the new year of like new ideas, new goals, new things I
Right.
really want to have. And then when you say it to other people, it gives it more of like it makes it more real. Just like Jess and I talked about on our manifestation episode
Right.
about like putting it up on the wall, putting it somewhere so that you see it every day and it kind of makes it. So if you have other people who know of this goal, they're kind of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
there's like an energy to that support, right?
Right. So we just did a 6-month check-in for our goals for one of my groups, and it was fun to be able to check off everything we had done. And then there were times like, oh, yeah, I forgot
Forgot
about
about
that
that.
one.
God, I wrote that one down.
So now we have, yeah, so sometimes we'll check in every 6 months or so too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say check in more often than that, but
Mm, interesting.
I'm a little scatterbrained, which is why I need groups.
Have you met Jess and I?
Yeah. Hello.
Literally
I
our
know.
brains.
I've been in a few groups before and they just kind of fizzle out because life and because it just gets pushed to the side or kids always take over.
Yeah, it's hard. And so that was one of the things I taught at VO Atlanta was that it's okay to break up with your group if it's not working for you. And maybe you have to, you know, if it's because you have too many family responsibilities, maybe you work with somebody who has a family and you guys meet at midnight because that's the only time you ever have time. You can find those people that match your schedule. But what we do when it starts to get like that, like over the summer, or if it's starting to fizzle, let's just do a competition. Let's do an audition competition. We'll check in,
Love
and
that.
that somehow just kind of
Reinvigorates.
yeah,
Yeah.
reinvigorates
Mm.
the enthusiasm of the group.
Yeah. I feel like that's the feedback I hear from people. Like, it's just like hard to keep it together. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's like a marriage or like a friendship relationship. You both gotta put in the effort, right?
Yeah.
And
And
like want
and
it, right?
you have to want it, but I think you also have to make it so that it's not so often that you're feeling overwhelmed with meeting all the time. So that's
Yes.
why we chose every other week. So there's room for movement.
How short? Like, is it an hour, half an hour? Like,
It
that can
dep-
help too for me making it feel more like you could do it, right?
yeah, it can be as long or as short as you want, really. We typically go an hour, but if some of in our group don't make it, sometimes the meeting's a half hour.
Okay.
But generally we try to make it within an hour. I know a lot of people try to make it within 40 minutes because that's the unpaid Zoom
Oh, right.
time.
Yes.
Oh,
So
We're
it's a
gonna
nice
bring that.
cutoff.
Yes,
right.
perfect. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
But we do an hour.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
how do you how if someone's listening and they're like, "Wow, I'd really love to get into a group." What is your process for saying, "Here's how to do it?" Like, do you go on Facebook groups and like find people you kind of jive with, or like how
Yeah,
do you find the people?
so if you go to a conference, that's a great place to find people because you tend to latch on to some people for the whole conference, right? Um, the other is you probably talk to other voiceovers in the industry. Just ask.
Mm.
Just say, "Do you wanna form an accountability group?" Um, the only thing I say stay away from is don't ask to join someone else's accountability group because I said it
That's awkward.
when well, when you do become like family, you know
Yeah.
everybody's,
Yeah.
highs and lows and it's almost, intrusive
Intrusion.
to
Mm.
have a stranger come into your family, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but then there could be groups that are looking, and I encourage other groups to, if you are looking for new members, to reach out via social media and let people know.
Yeah.
But just ask the people you want to be in a group with. And it doesn't have to be a voice actor, but it should be someone who's running a small business
Yeah.
because you have to do all those small business.
Dang, yeah.
When I go walk around my neighborhood, I always see this girl walking and like I'm new to this neighborhood and I always want to like stop her and be like, "Can we be walking by these?" But I'm like afraid she'll be like, "What are
I
you
know.
crazy?" So like there is a little fear of like, "Hey, I would love to," and they'd be like, "Yeah, we're full," like I don't know. That's definitely putting yourself out there a little, but
It definitely is. And that's why I say form your own. Just
Mm,
ask some people that you might want to hang out with or that you talk to regularly anyway.
yeah,
Just make it more structured.
yeah.
Is there any place online right now that like a website that someone could go to and just put their name in a pool, then
That would
get
be
kind
a
of
good
grouped
idea.
together? I mean, I was like, do I need to create that?
I do I do that for the conferences. So everyone who attends the conference, I have them fill out a sheet
Yes, I saw
and
you did that.
so we can certainly set something like that up if people want
I
to.
don't know if there would be a lot of I would think there'd be a lot of interest, but I'm curious.
Yeah,
Trying to force something is different than organically letting a group happen too. There's pros and cons to that.
I feel
right,
like
right.
the voiceover, like the different like Facebook groups is probably right now probably the best way to just kind of throw in a thing like, "Hey, I'm looking to start an accountability group. Does anybody, want to do that?"
Right.
Or
And I've
like
seen
creative
that, and that's a
professionals.
great way to start, yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank you
much,
for your
Jen.
time.
Thank
Let you get to
you.
your next meeting, board
Thank
of
you.
director person.
I know.
Uh, and yeah, we just appreciate having you on. I know we've
Oh,
been
I
trying to set
appreciate
this
you.
up.
I know. I know, we're all so busy, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
thank you for having me on. This was fun. I love it. I love your
Yay.
show.
Aw, thank you so
Everyone
much.
watch it. Watch it.
Woohoo! Have a great day.
All
Thanks
right,
for
you too.
watching.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Okay, well, that was awesome to talk to Jennifer. Yay, she's
She's
amazing.
great.
Yeah, she's great. But just for 2 seconds, I'm actually inviting in my accountability buddy.
Jess.
So nice to meet
Meet
you.
you.
Yay.
I
The
like your
brush
can.
Jess.
Yay, matching cans.
Yeah.
Yay. So Jess, this is
Oh,
Beth. Beth, Jess.
Nice to meet you, Beth. I hear
you.
you've had a busy schedule and you're getting people to where
A
the
lot of
little people
moving.
where they
You
need
you've
to.
got the
Yeah,
same
I
world,
do.
right? You
Yep.
know.
They're upstairs on a video game right now, and I'm about to cut
Yeah.
them off after this. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what it's all about. This
We
How to
will
time
keep
of
it
be.
year.
quiet.
I just wanted to, at the end of our accountability episode, I just wanted to bring in really
Yeah.
quickly my accountability buddy, and really quick, just I was trying to look it up, but I feel like we're at this summer, like maybe this month, we're at 2 years.
It's our anniversary.
I feel like it's
What?
our
Gotta
anniversary. Pretty
celebrate.
sure.
And where did you two
Yeah.
meet? Where did you two meet?
We met through the Larry Hudson, right? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Is
the
that your
workouts,
recollection?
I think. Yeah.
The workouts, yep. Larry
Yep.
Hudson WOW workouts. And then we met really briefly at VO Atlanta
Yep.
Nice.
after
In
knowing,
person,
yeah,
for
after
real.
being on like some of the workouts together. And I think I asked you out.
It's like a courtship. Yep.
It
She
was
asked
like,
me and I was like, me? I didn't feel worthy.
I was like, would you be my
Oh,
accountability
Yeah.
buddy? And she's like,
Yeah.
really? And I was like,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I really remember. I was like, maybe she has the wrong person. But
aw.
no, really, I was honored. I was
Aw.
honored. But I think it's a great fit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we kind of balance each other. I need accountability in my
Mm-hmm.
life.
Yeah. And we've become good friends through it, and
Yeah.
through like Jen was saying in her thing, we were just talking to Jen Antkowiak, and she was talking about like, you get to know each other's personal, like your
Oh,
lives,
yeah.
right? And you share, and
All of
we
it.
were just on the other
Good
day
and
talking about
bad.
some stuff that's not going great for me
Not
right now.
related at all.
Not
But it
right.
helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
So
For
Beth,
sure.
where are you located? Are you also in Boston?
No, I'm in Rochester, New York, Western New York,
Yeah.
between Buffalo and Syracuse.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of Buffalo or Boston connections. So my
Mm.
daughter's in school in the area and my husband's from there. And we go through a lot. So
we meet at 11:11 because I like synchronicity. So we meet every Monday at 11:11. Not 11, not
absolutely.
11:30, 11:11.
No, it's
Magic
got
is
a lot
at
of
11.
It's a
meaning. It's a
magical time.
magical time.
And if
Yeah.
we can't meet at 11:11, we try to do like 12:22 or 1:11. Try to,
Little
okay,
synchronicity
we
action.
adjust, right? And if we can't meet
Yeah.
on Monday, like Jen was saying, like you got to try to both be like, even if it's for a short thing, some
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
check in, you got to do that. So
It's
we
better than
try to
nothing.
work
Yeah.
around each other's craziness,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Got to pivot a lot.
yes, exactly.
But
So
it works.
Exactly. So
It
Beth,
works.
what do you think is the biggest, like looking back over the last couple of years, what have you felt like, wow, I never would have done this if I weren't in an accountability relationship?
Oh, I think in general, I just, with everything else going on in life, I tend to like put things on the back burner and okay, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. And it makes me accountable. I mean, not to sound really basic, but it just,
All the
yeah,
things.
all the
All
little
the little things
things,
add up.
whether it's, we've got to work on marketing more and we come up with little strategies. And, that's the last thing I feel like doing. And I think that's pretty common. But I'm like, no, Michelle and I, we said we were going to
I can't
reach
let
out
her
to this
down.
many people. Yeah, you just feel like, not that she's going to yell at me or anything, but you just feel like, okay,
Yeah,
we said we're going to do it. It just gives that extra little push
Yeah.
And do you
to,
see results
okay,
from that?
yeah,
Like, are you
yeah.
She has her
improvement?
stuff has grown in the last 2 years. It's like, it
Well,
has nothing to do
I
with
was
me,
like
but
really new. That's why I say I was like, are you sure you want to be want me to be? But because I was really very, very new when I met Michelle, and Michelle was much more established. So for that reason, I mean, thank God it's grown because it
yeah,
was really, we met when I was kind of right at the very
yeah,
beginning. So
Beth is killing it.
well, I don't know about that, but
Well, I'm so proud.
it's
And
grow as long as it's growing,
it's growing, and we celebrate each other's wins, and we celebrate each other's, we help each other through the hard times, the slow times, the different things, and we just talk about all that. And it's good to have just
Yeah.
a sounding board and somebody
Yeah.
you respect and just really care about. And
Yeah.
that's Beth to me. So
Yeah, right back at you.
love you, girl.
You guys are cute.
All right, we got to let you
It's fun.
go, but thank you
Thank
for
you
being a little
so
guest.
much.
Connecting.
I love the podcast. You guys, I'm
Yay.
so psyched you're doing this.
Aw.
Jess, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you too, Beth.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Have a great
Yep,
day.
have a great
See you
day.
soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
you.